How did you do that so that you actually made the money that you wanted to make?
I wasn't just focused on the physical aspect. I always let them know that I love to give and receive pleasure. I brought in elements of energy, connection, and relaxation that made every session feel unique. My background in energy healing played a big role in that. I started doing this when I worked and lived in Japan. I think people could sense that I genuinely enjoyed what I did, and that made all the difference.
I always say to people the biggest thing that clients are looking for is
It's so easy. I cannot believe it's so easy when you get the right client. This is my very first client in Toronto. And just like so many clients, they immediately say, "Oh my God, I love you. I want to marry you. I have been looking for an Asian girlfriend for a very long time. So, if you don't mind me booking you for the rest of the week, and I'm gonna pay you 5 grand." I feel like when you respond to them in a kind and respectful way, you're gonna attract people who are also kind, genuine, and authentic. So I'm very grateful now that 95% of my clients are like that.
what would be your top tips?
Yeah, I think for me, it's everything.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Escort Academy podcast hosted by me, Isabelle Fox. And if you don't know me yet, here's a little background. I entered the adult industry at 18, starting in a brothel at $155 an hour as a full service sex worker. Then by 21, I'd gone private, becoming Australia's highest charging escort at the time at $2,000 an hour. At 25, I started a corporate business, and by 27, I sold that in an 8-figure private equity deal. Today, I run Escort Academy, and our mission is to build a business school for the entire adult industry, which provides high quality business education, resources, and support for all adult industry workers worldwide. And it's because it's my belief that no one should have to walk this path alone or uninformed. And it's important because our industry really is unique. You know, sometimes people do enter during a time of financial hardship or personal struggle. I know that I certainly did. And that makes them more vulnerable because when you're going through a difficult time in life, like, you are vulnerable. But you combine that then in this industry with stigma and outdated legal frameworks that often fail to prioritize individual safety. And you just get this environment which is ripe for manipulation and exploitation. What's worse is many workers really have no one in their lives who even know what they do, which leaves them with few places to turn to for support, protection, or even just like basic guidance about like how to do your job on the daily. And so that's why this podcast exists, to be a part of changing that. In every episode, I'll be speaking with industry professionals as well as relevant non-industry individuals who are willing to share their experience openly and transparently, so we can learn, grow, thrive, and create change in this industry together. And with that, I am very honored to introduce today's guest, Amora Victoria from Ottawa, Canada. Victoria, thank you so much for being here and for just supporting this industry and your colleagues worldwide.
Hello, Isabelle. Thank you so much for inviting me. And hello, everyone. I'm Victoria, and I'm excited to be here today. For those who don't know me, I'm an independent companion, a creative entrepreneur. I am a healthcare professional and also an energy healer, all together in one. Uh, and someone who's all about embracing sensuality, confidence, and authenticity. Beyond my work, I have a deep love for photography, wellness, and personal growth. Maybe some people can relate. And I bring meditation and yoga into my daily rituals to stay grounded in everything I do, whether it's creating beautiful experiences, curating content, or exploring new projects. I love finding ways to connect, inspire, and evolve. evolve and grow as a person. And I can't wait to dive into today's conversation and share a bit of my journey with you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Victoria. And that's a really good precursor to the topic that we are going to dive into today, which is how to create an unforgettable 5-star experience that builds regular clientele. Trust me, this is going to be a great topic. You just heard a bit from Victoria about how she does that. I have spoken with hundreds of escorts across 12 years. At the moment, I speak with 20, sometimes 25 one-on-one per week. And without a doubt, the biggest challenge I hear most struggle with, and which was certainly my biggest practical issue as a worker, was how to create consistent income. And this took me a little bit to understand. But one of the reasons why this is such an issue for us is firstly, we're self employed. So we don't have a set income, a set salary or wage coming in each week or month. And so anybody who's self employed will feel the struggle of that. But secondly, our business model is basically one-off transactions. So if you're, for example, a personal trainer or even like a cosmetic nurse, you have customers often coming in on packages or a service that requires some kind of ongoing commitment. In our business, that isn't really the case. Even if a client says that they're going to do something, it's hardly like we have automated subscription models. Typically, clients don't pay for like packages up front. The upside is that we can charge a lot per visit. The downside is that when you have single transactions, it creates a lot of income volatility because you really are just making whatever it is you make that day. It's not like you can pre-plan your revenue or income for the future. And so one of the best antidotes I found to that is to provide a fantastic experience that keeps clients wanting to come back. So that even though you may not have a commitment via a financial subscription model or something to an ongoing service, what you do have is clients who want to see you so much that they continue to come on a regular basis, which then creates a lot more income stability. So I've had the pleasure of working side by side with Victoria inside Escort Academy as one of my mentees. And Victoria, I was immediately so amazed and impressed by your ability to do this. And that's why I wanted to have you on to this episode. We're about to jump in, but I just want to let everybody know, stay tuned until the end because I always do a shout out to a fellow worker who's making a difference in our industry. So stay till the end because it might be you. But for now, let's jump into the topic. And Victoria, I think it would be really nice to start with if you have anything further to add to your startup story. You know, how did you actually come to work as an escort in this industry?
Oh, yes, that's a very nice question, Isabel. Thank you. So, I am a Filipina. I come from the Philippines, and there are so many nurses. Hello to all the nurses out there. I'm just known to be a hard worker. I like to work, but maybe I'm at a point in my life where I'd like to work smarter, not harder. And when I moved to Ottawa, I was just looking for a side job. So I didn't know that there are so many listings that are not really a hostess job, and I accidentally applied for it. And like for so many resumes that I've applied for, they were the first one who responded back and called me and scheduled an interview. It's actually like hours upon upon submitting my resume. So I got a call and they said, "Can you send a picture of you or like full body picture?" I said, okay, sure, no problem. Then they asked me to go for one-on-one personal interview, and it was on the spa. And right away I knew that this was the thing that I'm gonna be doing. Then they explained it to me. This is how it works. And when the money the money was involved already, I said yes. I said yes right away. I think I'm also in the point of my life where I wanna explore sexuality because I was I was born and raised at a very, very how do you call that, conservative environment, and like sexuality is a taboo. But I'm an adult now, and I
Yeah, you
enjoy
are.
having orgasms.
Yeah, you do. Good for you. So, do you mean that like you were like in Ottawa applying for jobs, thinking that they were just hostess jobs? You got a call asking to send a photo. You still didn't know what it was about. You went into a spa, and in a moment we should explain to people what that is because there's different words used around the world for establishments. And then they sat you down and explained this is what the actual job is. You found out how much they pay, and you were like, yeah, like count me in orgasms and money. Is that what happened?
Yeah, actually, uh, it's like the rub and tug. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, for
Rub
sure.
and tug thing. That then they did not push me that you should have sex with the clients or do full service. It's not like that. So I was just enjoying learning how to do the hand job. So
Yeah.
yeah, it all started with that.
So, can you explain for anyone listening in Canada? Because before I worked with escorts in Canada, like in Australia, we call establishments brothels or parlors, and that's typically where full sex work is happening, like full service sex work in places in Australia where it's legal. We also do have massage parlors though, where and it would be commonly known as a rub and tug parlor, where clients come in and they get a massage and then associated extras, which are typically like a hand job and then whatever the worker themselves is willing to do. So would you just explain like firstly the terms like what did they say to you? Like when you came in and you had never been there before, how did they say this is a spa and this is a service that you offer? Like what was that explanation?
So they said that it's a massage spa. So we massage, and you're gonna be fully naked, and don't worry if you are somebody new, and we're gonna train you. So I wasn't afraid of trying something new. I give it a shot. So it's basically called a massage spa.
Okay, okay. All right. So you started off in the massage spa, learning your craft for the first time. And then what happened? Because you're a private escort now. So how did you make that journey?
Yes, at first I met girls. They are all lovely and kind, and but then since there were lots of spa, and so there's lots of competition, and we did our marketing via Twitter, and with the competition with the spas in Ottawa, they like to create drama and report each other's accounts. So my
The
tweet,
individuals or the spa
the
themselves, like management?
the management and the girls also, they hate each other like that. And as a newbie, I said, why do people want to destroy each other when they can just unite? And because I see abundance. I have an abundance mindset. I do not see like someone as competition, but if I can help them or uplift them and work with them towards goal to reach the top, and we go with it together, not drag them down. So it the drama created a bit of like a lot of hurt for me when my Twitter was constantly attacked. And it's actually my fifth Twitter now until I become independent, and I'm very happy that they finally like, how do you call that, stopped.
Yeah.
Stopped.
Desisted, ceased and
Yeah.
desisted. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So is that one of the reasons for going private, that it was becoming like an unpleasant environment because of the competitive nature of the people around you?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I've experienced that too. I remember working in a brothel like where I started, and there was definitely the competitiveness, but also just, you know, part of it was because you'd all be sitting there, like sometimes 20 girls, women, and if it was quiet day, you might have one client in 2 hours. And of course, they come in and everyone wants to be booked because if you don't get booked, you don't make any money. I mean, it's not an excuse for the behavior, but I think it's fear, like financial fear, that underpins a lot of it. Is that the fear that I'm not going to make the money that I need to make to pay my bills and survive? And so even now, when I experience some of that behavior myself and issues on social media and stuff, my belief is that often it's the fear because people feel threatened that is driving that. And so I try to have compassion for it. But at the same time, I think making a move and getting out of there is definitely one of the options. And have you found that that's worked out well for you so far?
Yes, it did. At first, I was really afraid of, not really afraid, but I have some hesitation in my heart. But I have a partner who is very supportive, and who is there to support me in every step of the way. And I reached out to so many people that I know that can guide me, and I prayed for a mentor, and Isabelle was there to to be my guide, one of my guides. So I'm truly grateful for that. We
That was
found each other.
Yes, yes, we did. So when you were going private, what were some of like the biggest hesitations that you had? Because I had the same. You think about it, you see other people doing it online, and there's always the fears that stop you from doing it. So what were those fears for you?
At first, so the biggest thing is not having my own personal in-call space. So I'm always thinking about the place where I'm gonna host, because I will not only have out call clients. In call is very important. So I have to book hotels all the time. And next also is, how am I gonna do all the marketing by myself? But yeah, the time when the spa wars were at its peak, and I get like multiple suspension on Twitter, like for the third time, I said to myself, the only thing that will help me to stop this this thing is to make a website.
Mm.
So I've invested on a website, and I didn't know that it will help me a lot. So that was the beginning. When I had the website, it's a lot easier to reach out to people.
So did you go like make the website and then go private and start getting clients like directly through the website, or did you go private and then realize, something that will help me get new clients is to add a website that they can find from my online profiles?
I was still at the spa when I decided to look for somebody that can help me, because I'm not really a techie person. And
Me neither.
yeah, the the friend that I found in Montreal, she was very helpful to recommend a friend who was also at the industry, also a fellow sex worker who creates websites. And I'm very grateful to her for helping me with my website. It's a work of heart.
A work of art and heart, huh?
Mhm.
Cool. So on the spa, like I've worked with a lot of Canadian escorts and a lot of escorts coming out of spas wanting to transition to private. And I've heard a lot about how competitive the landscape is in Canada and that there are a lot of spas and that there are a lot of workers in them. And again, like when I was working in a brothel, there was plenty of things that were challenging, plenty of things that were great in my experience, but the biggest challenge was just that, yeah, there could be 20 of you working. One client comes in and you don't make any money unless that client books you. So,
Mhm.
what did you do to help you stand out in the spa, particularly when sometimes there are also rules that you kind of have to follow, or, etiquette that we're supposed to follow that, there's an understanding amongst workers that you don't do certain things. How did you do that so that you actually like made the money that you wanted to make?
Yeah, so all right. What really set me apart at the spa was my ability to create a deeply immersive, personalized experience. So I wasn't just focused on the physical aspect, I brought in elements of energy, connection, and relaxation that made every session feel unique. So, my background in energy healing played a big role in that, and in helping me stay present and bring a calming and sensual energy into the room. And I also paid attention in detail. So, whether it was my presentation, the way I carried myself, or how I engage with clients, I made sure everything felt effortless and intentional. I think people could sense that I genuinely enjoyed what I did, and that authenticity made all the difference. And it wasn't just about offering a service, it was about creating a memorable experience that left a lasting impression. So what I always say it is, if it was a great physical or an intimate experience, I make sure that they leave the place mentally, physically, spiritually, and in a very deep soul level, complete.
Yeah. And that was something I noticed so like really different about you from the first time that we spoke, is your authenticity, like an attitude really shone through. And I always say to people, the biggest thing that clients are looking for is authenticity. But I think sometimes people struggle, Victoria, like to intellectually like know, well, of course everybody wants authenticity, and then to kind of understand, well, how do I actually practically do that? So when you talk about you created this immersive experience on a spiritual, emotional, physical level, can you give us a couple of examples, like practically, of what you might have done differently once you were alone in the room with the client, aside from offering the physical service, that did that for them?
Yeah. So first, this is how we do it. We first greet the client, and sometimes most clients are more like anxious than us. They are more anxious of meeting us for the first time. Some of them all have a panic attack. I have clients who have panic attacks sometimes because they're very anxious. So yeah, what I do, I always have bottles of water ready, or any drink that I do not drink alcohol, I mean, but I offer them something, and we sit down, we do not dive right away, and I make sure to sit down and listen to them, how I ask them how are they feeling. But then the all my experience with personal development, personal growth, and neuro linguistic programming, in reading someone's gestures, how, yeah, I try to flow with the energy of the person. So yeah, it takes a skill to learn this, and probably because also of my experience as a healthcare professional, I always deal with many different people on a daily basis. So I feel comfortable in now with men, dealing with men.
You make such a great point. Is like everybody, we walk through life with our own perspective. And as the worker, sometimes there's different things going on that we have our concerns depending on what like situation you're in. Maybe you're having a bad day, you could be stressed out, especially if you've had not so great experiences with clients. Like I've been through times where I've had a difficult experience with a client and then I've gone into the next booking, and that of course is on my mind. But what I hear you talking about is basically putting yourself in the client's shoes. And that
Yes.
intimidation factor for men, from I think women in general, but then in that scenario, which is pretty full on, especially if it's their first time, and you never know when it's somebody's first time, is it took me time to really develop empathy for that. It wasn't until I started reading pick-up books for men about how to pick up women that I really understood, wow, men are just so intimidated by women in so many ways. And then, imagine them stepping into a spa with all of these beautiful women, trying to pick somebody, then knowing that they're going to go into this room, be on a clock, have to perform physically, because if they don't, then, their money is wasted to an extent. Speak to a beautiful woman that they've never met before. It's a really intimidating experience when you like turn the tables. Like, I think about when I go on a first date, Victoria, like how nervous I am. And like,
Yeah.
I haven't paid any money. I don't have like necessarily a clock. I don't have to get like physical or naked with anybody. And that's intimidating for me. So what I hear you saying is basically that you are really empathetic and compassionate to the client's like state of mind, and you're
Mhm.
trying to tune into that and then adapt and modify your approach to meet them where they're at, which will of course then make them more comfortable so they can be more receptive to the
Yes.
experience and actually enjoy it.
Exactly, exactly. That's true. I always let them know that I love to give and receive pleasure. So it's a give and take thing for between us. It takes two to tango.
So then on that, like you've just described what happens once you get in the room, and I can see how incredible that would be for a client. And like I said, even just speaking with you, I notice you doing that in our interactions, and I always feel so comfortable talking to you and so like upbeat. But in a spa environment, at least in brothels where I worked in Australia, a client would come in and they would sit in a room, right? And then, however many girls were working would come in and meet them one by one. And the client would have to
Mhm.
pick somebody based off a 2 minute interaction. Did you do anything different? If it worked the same way for you, did you do anything different in that very short interaction to actually increase the likelihood that the client would pick you so that you could then deliver them that great service in the room?
I know I didn't. I just be myself and say hi, but I I have an advantage probably because I am the only Asian working in whole Ottawa. No one, nobody is an Asian, so they when they look for an Asian, they know where to find me. So and I'm also very short, and the clients who are short, they look for shorter girls. So maybe that's something that is what it depends really on what specifically they're looking for. But with that thing, yeah, I think that's just the thing that set me apart.
That's really interesting to hear. And I think good for listeners to hear, because I speak with people from different races, different body sizes, different ages. And I think often when you're the less common physically in your area, or you don't meet an expectation that you think is normal for the industry. So, for example, when I work with women that might consider themselves mature age, whether that be in their 40s, 50s, or higher, there's often the perception that because I'm this age, I'm not going to get booked as much because there are so many more younger women, clients must want them. But my experience has been the opposite. To be the only one in your market offering a specific experience or service is really just a niche offering, which almost always makes more money. So I love that you've been able to present that in a positive way, because it can be intimidating sometimes. I know when I've been in situations where I felt like, for example, in business, where I've been the only woman in a room, and I've thought that oh, the fact that I'm an only woman, everyone's going to want to deal with the men. It was actually often the reverse. The fact that I was the only woman gave me sometimes a bit of a leg up because I just stood out, and it was obvious I was the only one. And so it sounds like that kind of happened for you as well.
Mhm.
Being the only Asian worker was an upside, and you knew how to take advantage of it, or find value in it rather.
Yeah, it's true. I feel very blessed when I look at it because yeah, when I see it, if I look at it in my point of view, if I did this we're in my country, and everyone is looking for a specific girl that they really really like. It's also it will set you apart. So I love that I can bloom where I am planted now.
Me too, me too. And bloom you have, my dear, that's for sure. Like, just one more thing on this topic before we move on. So, when I worked in a brothel, there were obviously rules that we had to navigate. Like, for example, at the time in Melbourne where I worked, you weren't allowed to offer, excuse me, an uncovered blowjob. It was legally, you had to use a condom. And there was, so we all had to, well, the way it worked is clients would pay a set rate for a standard service, which was supposed to include physical intercourse, like penetrative intercourse, a blowjob on them with a condom, and a hand job, right? And then they could pay $100 to upgrade for 1 hour to a deluxe service. And the deluxe service was really at the escorts or the workers' discretion. They could really provide what they wanted to. However, there was that law in place, and there was also stigma, I think, in the establishment amongst the workers around what was and wasn't appropriate to offer for the $100. And some workers who might offer more than what was expected, if it was found out that they were offering more, other workers would get upset about it because they would feel like, well, if you're offering more services that we've kind of all had a silent agreement not to do without additional pay, that brings down the value of our work, and then girls could get quite catty about it. And so when trying to stand out, I found that it was important to be mindful of that stuff sometimes for the nature of the environment. Did you have anything like that in your spa that you had to keep in mind?
Um, I I I guess so. So basically, what do we do? I will give you a rough idea. So we always have to shower. We always shower before and after. Then next is the massage. It's massage with body slides. Yes, using oil or lotion, and then the hand job. So anything that's different or not in that um,
Package?
package is an extra. But sometimes they ask for deep French kissing, and like the full service is really not part of it. Um, there was one time when one girl uh, talked to me talked to me directly about like giving a blowjob, and that is an extra. So she was I think they were talking about it because one client said, oh, she offered this um, um, blow job or BBBJ like that. And I don't know why it upset the other girls when it's an extra and it's in my discretion to to give that. Maybe because like some clients, do you know the term TERB, or a review board,
Yeah.
where clients can tell each other or talk to each other about her specific services which are really popular, and then it become popular what I did.
Yeah.
And then the girls knew that it became popular, and I'm getting like clients here and there, and they were upset about it. So I remember about that. But it's really up to me or my discretion to offer my uh, extra.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think every worker, I mean, I don't like I prefer the decriminalized model where everybody, it's at their discretion as to what they do. I do understand the reaction from other workers. Like, for example, I know there were girls in our parlor that would offer unprotected sex, obviously for an additional fee, usually, I assume. Of course, this is all hearsay, right? You're not in the rooms. You don't really know what happens. And I remind myself of that and other people sometimes, just because you were told this happened. If you weren't there, you don't really know. But the concept of people getting upset about it, I understand. But I always try to bring it back to understanding, well, why is it happening? And ultimately, everybody's just trying to generate income to pay their bills and live their lives. And I think if we are more open about talking about the different strategies that people are using, then we can focus on, rather than just price cutting, for example, and everybody like racing to offer more for less, if we flip and focus on the quality of the experience, ideally what we want is for all customers to get used to paying more. We all increase the rates for our service together and learn how to sell based on an experience model, so that nobody has to offer things that they don't want to offer at a price that they feel isn't fair, and nobody kind of gets into that price competition. So that's what I hope for us to get to. But at the same time, I can be empathetic to the fear that workers have around, well, if I offer this for $200 and then someone else offers the exact same thing for 150, it's going to be hard for me and I'm going to have to continue to decrease my rates. I think that that's a reasonable fear. It's just that if we flip it and approach it from a different perspective and learn how to handle it that way, then actually $200 can become $300 and then $400 and $500, and we can all be paying more, and all the guys on Turb will be talking
Yeah,
about it, but they won't be able to get it for cheaper anyway.
that's true.
Cool. Okay. So now that you're like a private escort, what have you found, if anything, has changed about creating your 5-star experience? Because I know that the Reiki and the energy healing is a really big part of your service. And I was so interested when I first read about it, because it isn't that common. Like in the 12 years that I've been in this industry, I've come across it probably less than a handful of times. And you were doing it particularly well. So tell us more about that.
Reiki. I started doing this when I worked and lived in Japan. And it's just something for myself to help me heal or help me take care of my energy. And it's something that is a part of me. It's a lifestyle. I like to cleanse my aura through meditation. I like to protect my aura. And as we know that as sex work, it's exchange of energy. So every time I have a client and they are receptive and they like it, they want to experience it, I give it to them. And it's also something to help them to not get attached to me. So far, I never had anyone like stalking me or anything. Afterwards, after we meet already, the cords are cut, and I bless them on their way. So it's basically like that.
So can you explain like what Reiki is and how the energy healing works? Because when we started working together, like I'd heard the term like same way as when I go and get like a remedial massage, I could see Reiki sometimes like on the menu, but I didn't really know what it was, and I like had to have you explain it to me. And I imagine a lot of clients would not really understand either. So like when you're physically in the session, what do you
Mhm.
do differently that a non-Reiki worker wouldn't be doing?
All right. I only do the Reiki after the orgasm, after they reach the peak and they, after orgasm you feel so relaxed and released. So after that, I made them be in their most comfortable position, and I say, like, so they are so relaxed now. They just want to listen like that. I let them keep like that. Close their eyes and take a deep breath. Release all your tension, and I play my tranquility music. So, Reiki is a form of energy healing that helps balance the body, the mind, and the spirit. And with the use of my hands, like with everything that you learn and you train, You use your hands to like uh, channel the energy from the source to them. So you are like the channel, and I'm very happy that if the energy when the energy goes through, I can also feel it. I feel relaxed like them, and I always thank them and their higher self. I always thank them and their higher self and their guides for being with us in the healing session. So to help them clear their energy, remove blockages. So it's just like a gentle reset of energy, promoting relaxation, stress relief, and overall well-being.
Okay, so they come in for like the private booking, and would you say that you have a standard, but an excellent standard, but a typical like full service booking first, where you'll do like kissing, a full
Mhm.
service experience, whatever like physical services perhaps they've told you about, and then when they've orgasmed at the end, you'll do your energy healing work, which is about using your hands like over the body and they're just relaxed. Is that how it goes?
It is. That's how it goes. I should not forget to thank Isabelle for helping me with my VIP GFE.
Well, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to how you sell it, how you sell it. Do they, oh, when you said that they don't get attached because of this service, why do you think that is? What is it that, because you're right, a lot of escorts struggle with clients become emotionally attached. What is it about your service and this energy healing that you think prevents that from happening, but still keeps them coming back? Because that's a delicate balance, right?
Yes, it's true. Like for every one of us, especially like for example, we all have family and we're all attached to our like parents like that, how we are attached to friends or best friends. We have this connection. And sometimes let's just say for partner, you sometimes get toxic connection that needs to be the chords, we call it etheric chords, and that's very difficult for people with, you know, try to attract toxic people when you have something inside you. It's so hard to explain it in a layman's term, but I always do the cutting from, you know, if there are any negative chords, um, I release it and return it back to the sender with love and gratitude. And afterwards, I tell them to take their power back, and when they leave the room, they feel refreshed and re-energized because their power is theirs. I do not take it to me. It's all theirs. Their energy is theirs. So yeah, it's like a ritual, but in a good way. It's not something like a witchy thing.
No, it sounds good. It sounds actually really invigorating, like the kind of service that I would like to have. Okay. So yeah, let's then talk about how do you communicate this, right? Because again, when you're in a spa, it's different to a
Mhm.
private environment. The establishment is responsible for getting the client in the door, and then you have your opportunity to meet them. They book you or they don't, and then you're in the room with them and you're offering the service. So there's not a lot of responsibility or even ability for us to bring clients in, unless, of course, you're doing the social media work, which you were doing, which is amazing. I love it when people are like taking action into their own hands. But then when you become a private escort, you don't have a parlor or establishment sourcing clients for you. Like you are it, buddy. Like you have to do the marketing, you have to get them in the door. So what communication do you do from your profiles to your like texting or emailing, however you communicate verbally? What communication do you do to sell or demonstrate this kind of experience that you provide that gets clients to actually end up in the room at all?
with the experience, I think it's been 9 months. You kind of learn it by experience, with people who just want to waste their time. I'm sure many escorts can relate, but when I talk specifically to an inquiry, I know that it's real already when they say hello and with a precise email. I love how with the website it's very organized because they submit a contact form with
Mm-hmm.
the date, with the time, and are you available at this time, and plus with a message. So it's like only 1 to 2 emails exchanged, and right away when we confirm a date, I just give them the deposit, and they deposit. It's so easy. I cannot believe it's so easy when you get the right clients. But
Yeah.
when you get the wrong ones and the time waster, they will give you like 10 questions first without even booking. But thank you to Isabel for teaching me how to get rid of the time wasters. It's all at Isabel's course, so you should enroll.
Thanks, Victoria. But in your advertising, right, for even clients to reach out to you, what communication do you do, if at all, about like this difference in experience that you provide that really all like escorts certainly aren't doing? The energy healing, the Reiki, how much detail do you go into in your ads?
Oh, I actually just only advertise via Trist and Twitter because I've tried Leo List and it has attracted a lot of negative, like, there's lots of false accounts and not real people over there. So in my experience, it's reliable. The clients are verified, and also on Twitter, when they see me and they say that they would like to book, I just guide them through. You can book via my website, or we can just communicate directly, and I'm very happy. I feel like if when you respond to them in a kind and respectful way, you're gonna attract people who are also kind, genuine, and authentic. So I'm very grateful now that 95% of my clients are like that. There are still sometimes some people maybe are who are having a bad day, or um that I still have to deal with, but now majority I can see that I'm very grateful that they are good ones.
Okay, so they're reaching out to you like already convinced, already serious. Do you think that that's something to do with your ads? Like you talk about this difference in experience that you provide in your advertising?
Yes, it in the advertising, it that Isabel helped me. It is they will send me an email, and then I give them the clarity about what to expect, and then it's a yes. It's always a yes. I will not take, well, maybe so. I'm not someone who will take no for an answer. I'm sure they will say yes.
Positive expectations.
Exactly, yes.
All right. So now that you've done this successfully in a spa environment, which has its challenges, it's highly competitive, you can't control who's coming in the door, you can do very little pre-advertising. Then you transition to the private world and taken on all of that responsibility. But then some of the upside is that you remove the in-person competition. Of course, there's heaps of competition online, but once you see the client, they're there, they've committed, they've paid money. Now that you've done create the creation of a five-star experience in two different environments, what are the best tips that you have for a worker who's trying to do the same so that they can build regular clientele and stabilize their income? What would be your top tips?
All right. I think for me, I never tried to be someone else. You can, they will love you for who you are as a unique and genuine, authentic person. And once they feel that confidence emerge. I'm not perfect. As a woman, I can, if I only compare myself to all the girls that I work with, they are all so beautiful, not only physically, but everyone has their own strengths and beauty in their own way. But you have to embrace yourself, your personality, your style. What makes you unique will always set you apart. And another key tip is to set clear boundaries and stick to them, whether it's the screening process, the rate, the kind of experience you offer. Protecting your energy and time is essential for the longevity of this work. So it's okay to say no sometimes if it's too much. Like, but I'm very grateful that they ask, like, is this, can you provide this service? And when it's really not, it's outside of my boundaries, I say no. So it's okay to say no when it's all about protecting your energy. And also one tip, I also can't stress enough the importance of presentation, how you market yourself, the quality of your photos. It's not all about like a professional shoot, which I learned from Isabelle. Thank you. Most of my selfie shoot now have more engagement than my professional ones. And also, number one is the way you communicate. Communication is a key and play a very big role in attracting the right clientele. So investing in branding, whether through professional photography or a created online presence, makes a huge difference. And finally, self-care is everything. Yes, in this industry, it can be demanding. So, finding ways to recharge, whether it's through meditation, exercise, or anything, creative outlets, is key to maintaining balance and avoiding burnout. At the end of the day, the best escorts are the ones who treat this as a business, but also an art, creating experiences with intention, care, and a touch of magic.
That's magic. I love that. And I wonder, can you do Reiki on yourself? Like, are you this calm and positive and amazing because you just like Reiki yourself all the time? Or do you have your own like Reiki healer?
Yes, yes, I do it for myself, Recently, I really wanted my teeth done.
Hmm.
But the orthodontist said, I have overlapping so much teeth. I have four extra teeth, and he has to extract four teeth. I,
Oh,
he has to remove four teeth from
yikes.
here. I cannot believe it. And
Oh.
and he connected me to another dentist who will remove the teeth, and I was like raking my teeth so that it will just
Like doing this? Like,
if it can magically fix them. Well, my client said it's not bad. It's not just aligned here on this side, but do
yeah.
not do not remove your teeth. Oh
Oh.
God.
I've had teeth out because I had really bad teeth when I was a kid, and yeah, getting the teeth pulled out is not fun, and then the braces and everything. But yeah, if that's what you really want to do, it felt like it was worth it in the end. But I'm not gonna lie, like it was a bit of a journey.
I do not know how can I do my blowjobs if I
Totally. Well, that's the thing you have to check, right? Like I had to get a plate in like here after I got my braces off. And then once I turned 18, I was kind of like, and once I was working and I had to go in. Oh, that's not what happened actually. I had a retainer. After you get braces off, you have a retainer to keep your teeth straight. And the retainer can break or you lose it and then your teeth move. So the dentist was like to me, we can put like a plate in under your teeth to keep them straight. And I had to be like, can it be felt like during a because like I can't have clients or like what if it gets stuck on like the condom like what am I gonna do?
You're right.
Totally escort problems. Well, I'd love to finish on Victoria hearing either your funniest, weirdest, or strangest maybe like client story ever, and then of course like what you did to deal with said situation.
All right. Let me just give you. I'm not sure if you find this funny, but I had a client. This is my very first client in Toronto when I was doing a tour. And just like so many clients, they immediately say, "Oh my God, I love you. I want to marry you." Like this. So I have been looking for an Asian girlfriend for a very long time. So, if you don't mind me booking you for the rest of the week, and I'm gonna pay you 5 grand. So I was thinking that maybe it sounds really interesting because I only have like 2 more days, and he's willing to pay me the whole time I'm there. So okay, yeah, all right, sure, I said. So he paid me first for the hour, and then he said I will just go to the bank and get the money. So late at night, He went back to the hotel and said, and he was having an envelope. He got the envelope and yes, here is the money. So can we play like a husband and wife while you are here? So I'm 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 still skeptical. I'm very skeptical sometimes. I check the money, and I know when there's something wrong, I can feel it right away. Like it's my gut instinct. I pulled out the money, and it's a bunch of like hundreds. So I check it like when I hold it, it's immediately like super straight. So I said, did you just get this money from the machine? It's already late and the banks are closed. Uh, I do not know if there's withdrawal limit. So I was just smelling the money. I do not know what's happening with me, but it does not feel right. And when I looked at it, it looks like money, but it was so straight, and it has like plastic on it. I was looking at it, and I was like wondering why there was nothing shiny. There was nothing shiny with the money, and I'm very grateful that I have 2020 vision. I look at the money like that, and on top of the plastic part, it says mm, um, PLY money on top and down. So I immediately thought that, oh, this is play money. And I said, I gave it to him. And I said, what's this? It's play money. Are you kidding me? I said to him, I did not make a drama, but I said, oh my God, please leave and respect my space. I told him, and so he left. But before that, I went back and checked the money that he gave me, first paid me, and that was real money. So it's the very first time, and so far it's the only experience I had with fake money. It was 5 grand fake money, and thank God we did not do like, it did not start without me checking the money first. So I think it's very, very important to check the money nowadays. You'll never know.
Yeah. Well, there's probably a few like thank gods there that yeah, you check the money because especially when you've been with a client for a while, you can become more comfortable. But you like people can do that anytime. Like I had a client intentionally underpay me once, and he was a regular who'd been seeing me for months. And same thing, I like sometimes I didn't check the money before the booking, but that day I had an inkling I'm going to count it. And he had like undercut me because he had developed feelings and he was kind of testing me. But like, yeah, so thank God you got that inkling. And then also thank God that he just left without an issue. Because if somebody's willing to do that, bring you this fake money, it's hard to know what else they may be willing to do. And if it was late at night and you were by yourself and on a
Yeah.
tour, that can all be like a really scary combination. So
ex-
I think what you said that like you didn't make a fuss, that you just asked him to leave, that's always how I've tried to deal with situations that have felt that they could get out of hand. But that can be hard to do, right? Because you're scared or you're upset, rightly so, because somebody has done that. Did you have anybody who knew where you were so you could text someone, let them know, like, hey, this has just happened, be on guard?
Yes, it's my partner. It's my partner in crime. So until now, every time I have a client anywhere, we have um, we have a code that okay, he's here, and this is the code for the beginning and the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's so, so lucky that you have someone to turn to like that. Because when I was working, when I went fully private by myself, I had other friends that we were like escort buddies to each other. But the truth is, I couldn't really expect them or rely on them to just be available at any time if something went wrong in a booking. But some of the things that I did was if I stepped into a room with a client and I got maybe like when you get like a little bit of the off feeling, but you're not totally sure, I would do a pretend safety call. So I would like say, "Oh, John, I'm just going to give my friend Sarah a call to let her know that I'm here and that I'm okay and what time we're finishing." And then I would actually stand in front of him and I could either make a real call if Sarah actually was available, or I would just do a pretend one. And I would say like out loud, "Yep, I'm here." Like if I was in a hotel, I would say the room number, the hotel name, just so that they knew that what they thought that I might not be alone.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I never encountered any dangerous situation in all the years that I worked. But if you didn't have an actual buddy like your partner who's like amazing for being there on call, then that's like a backup strategy that people could use too.
Yes, that's
Okay, well,
very.
yeah, not the funniest story, but a good story for us because you're right. Like you get comfortable in your job, you're doing it every day, everything's going fine, and then all of a sudden something like that happens.
Yeah, this is kind of funny and also a bit embarrassing on my.
Let's hear
So
it.
well, I have some specific request. Like for example, somebody would like to experience golden shower, and
Yeah,
so this was at the end of the session after the shower or during the shower. So when during the golden shower, you pee, and then I try to pee the best that I can so everything comes
to please
out.
the client. Yeah,
Please the client. Then he said, keep going. I love it, the feeling. Until I
love
keep
it.
going and I keep pushing, and afterwards something come out like a big fart. Oh my god, it's so
Sexy.
embarrassing. I farted after the pee, so that was really something.
What did
Something.
you do? Like, what did you say?
I said, "Oh my god, did I just fart? I'm so sorry." No, and then he said, "No, that's okay."
Oh, what a sweetheart. Yeah, well, stuff gets messy in this job, doesn't it? So
Oh
you
my
have
god.
to expect it. It's so funny for those who don't know, golden shower is urinating on somebody. And it's not like the most popular service, but it's definitely like there. And I remember the first time I got asked to do it in a brothel, and the client offered me $100 to do it, and I was like, oh my god, like I so wanted the $100, but I couldn't. Like I got stage fright. Like I could never do golden shower because I get stage fright. Like I can't pee on demand. And I remember being. He was lying on the ground in the shower and being over him like the same, trying so hard, like please, please come out. I want this $100. It didn't come out, and I was so upset.
Oh my god.
So good on you for making it happen, even though it didn't go totally smoothly.
It's true. Oh my goodness. That's such a funny, memorable experience.
And good to know that he handled it so well too, because yeah, like it is an intimate service, and just like in your personal sexual life, like stuff can go awry, but it's good to know that like at the end of the day, we're all human, and that clients, for the most part, I think, understand that, and so that when stuff goes not according to plan, I had a client fart in front of me once, and he tried to cover it up, but it smelled so bad. It smelled so bad. He was like, "I can't cover that, can I?" And I was like, "No, you can't."
Oh my god.
It was so bad it like stunk up the room. We were both like, oh my god.
Was on my way to I was on my way to an out call, and you know that it's winter here.
Yeah.
And then I knew I ordered an Uber, and I knew I smell something inside the car. Then all of a sudden all the windows were open, and it's winter and it's so cold. Oh
It's
my
actually
god.
driver.
Yes, the driver farted on me. I can't believe it. It's so funny.
At least he had the decency to open the window and not just keep
That's
it
true.
boxed in. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, Victoria, it has been such a pleasure speaking with you today. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Isabel. It's been a great podcast. I'm very, very happy. I am truly grateful and honored to be here speaking with you and share lots of insights. I hope that everyone watching got something, a gem for it. And I wish you all the best in your escorting career. And together we move forward and make lots of money.
But everybody will love that message. Yeah, likewise. I hope everybody listening took something valuable away from this episode to help them with their business. And please, just as we're here sharing our experience, share your experience with others too, as much as you can. And before we wrap up on that note, I want to give a special shout out to Roxy in Calgary, Canada, for going out of her way to freely share her experience and support her fellow Canadian workers. What you're doing, Roxy, is making a real difference, and we super appreciate it. So please keep it up. And then finally, if you'd like to learn more about Escort Academy, just head to escortacademy.co. I also post daily educational content about this business under my personal name, Isabelle Fox, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, Snapchat, Blue Sky, and Facebook. And our podcast, Escort Academy Podcast, has its own dedicated channels as well. You can find all of the links for my personal channels and our podcast channel in the episode notes below. You can also find a link, guys, to sign up for our free, industry email newsletter, where we send out educational tips about how to run your business. Victoria, where is the best place for other workers to connect with you?
You can always find me on X or on Twitter. It's my username is Victoria in Bloom. And I'm very happy and I welcome you all to my space. I'd love to connect with you, and also at Escort Academy. You can see me there. I'm very active and really love to meet all the amazing people. It's such a great community, uplifting each other. It's something I really prayed for. Thank you, Isabel, for being the leader of this group, and let's continue to make a difference.
Yeah, likewise. You are super welcome. Thanks for being involved. And then, guys, a quick message from me. I know that this profession can be challenging. I mean, Life can be challenging and it can be hard. So if that's where you're at right now, particularly in this job, I want you to know that you really aren't alone. And if you're struggling, if you're trying to build the life that you want using this industry in whichever way you feel is best for you, I want you to know that I believe in you. And don't give up because you can do it. I have been in a place in this job where I thought, really, like, is this how things are? Can things get better? And I've worked with so many people and had so many friends and colleagues in the same place. And I want you to know that you can get to where you want to be. Just remember, once you do, to please give back to our industry. Support your colleagues in whatever way you can. You just never know what a huge impact a small act of kindness can have on another worker. I remember when I was thinking about going private, I reached out to a number of industry workers. Only one person got back to me. Her name was Estelle Lucas, freely shared her advice and experience with me, and it changed my life irrevocably. So just remember that when we lift each other up, we make this profession stronger and better for all of us. So thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next episode, and bye for now.
Bye for now.